Hey, hi. That's my daughter Adya there. Hi, Adya.
Hi.
Hey. So this is a special video for me because I want to ask you all a question. Do you continuously feel frustrated having those discussions with your teenagers? My daughter is a teenager, and at times I do find it difficult. And I also remember my mom when she used to have conversations with me, and I used to be a rebel then. But then I have sort of changed my own ways of trying to have better conversations with Adya. I'm not sure if she agrees, but I have tried to do that to myself. So I want to quickly ask her, so Adya, when do you feel sort of better whenever something is going wrong? When do you feel that, oh, okay, mom is, the way, I got out things from you was a better way of doing it? Do you feel...
No, just when we talk normally and we just talk about what I'm doing, what you're doing, then that's a good conversation.
Okay. So is it that, so suppose I ask you something directly, so if I make you think, like suppose there is some situation in school or something that is there, and I ask you, hey Adya, do you want to think about it, as opposed to Adya, let me tell you, you do this. Which is it that you prefer?
It depends, I guess. Sometimes I would prefer you just telling me to do it.
Oh, okay.
Because I wouldn't want to
think. Is it? Okay.
But sometimes I would want to think. It depends on what it is.
Okay. But most of the time, my natural, instinct is, since this is my daughter, I'd like to tell you to do things. And what I've also realized is, like you said, it needs to be a balance of both. What I've realized is when I ask you, okay, what are the alternatives? Do you think what you need to do? I mean, I've asked you that, right? Then I see that you start thinking, and then at some point, has that happened? And then there are solutions that come out. Does that happen by yourself?
By myself, yeah.
So I feel.
But then that doesn't happen with every situation.
Yeah.
That's only with
few. But most of the time I try to adopt that, by the way. That I, ask you, what is it, Adya, do you want to think about it? And then I realize that, she starts thinking about it, and most of the time she comes with her own solutions. And if she's not able to, then I ask her again. I ask you, saying, can I give you some suggestions?
Yeah.
And then when you're okay with it, so then I give you suggestions, but not all the time. I mean, there are times when you totally lose it and say, no, I'm telling you, you do this, what are you doing, you're not doing things well. But here's where, why I'm talking about this today in this video is these are certain brain-based sort of principles. I am sure she doesn't know that I use it, but based on whatever I have learned, I use these brain-based principles subtly to even talk to my daughter. And as moms and as teenagers, we all go through our own phases. And one of the things that I do is make them think, make you think, which you've experienced hopefully. And the other thing that I also try to do is ask you permission. Make you think, ask you permission before I give you suggestions. Oh, can I do this?
Yeah.
You think, can I give you, even if I'm trying to give her suggestions, I ask her, can I give you suggestions? And if you're okay with that, then I give you. Sometimes I give her suggestions even without asking. But what I realize is more I ask you, you're in a better, is it right to say that you're in a better frame of mind when I ask permission?
That really depends on how I'm feeling that day, if I'm tired, if I'm not.
But mostly, rather than me saying, do it. Adya.
If you ask me a lot, then that's not nice. So in somewhere in between, when you do ask me, but not a lot.
Yeah. So there too you want that balance.
Yeah.
That's my daughter for you. She wants balance. So she says, don't ask me too much, but ask me. I would prefer.
Yeah.
So this is something that at least, not to blame my mom, but my mother never asked me, hey, can I ask you permission? She said, no. Our generation was different. She just said, Preeta, do it. I mean, I'm telling you to do it because I know. Right? So here we are two different brains here. That's a different brain, this is a different brain. So I have sort of learnt about this. Any other thing that you feel that I do different when compared to whatever the talks that you have with your own friends? As a mother, do you think I do something different in terms of making you think and getting out solutions?
I don't know about things, but I think our relationship is more open than other mothers and their kids. So that's nice.
That's like a win for me. And I think, you know, a lot of it I have learned because of the brain-based principles I use. Because of the way I speak to her is sort of, you know, dwelling into my own self and trying to treat her as an individual and somewhere linking into the wiring in the brain. So actually, for all those mothers there, you know, and hey, thanks Adya, for talking to me. I know it was a big thing for me to get her into this. She finally agreed. Okay, thanks. Let me just finish my video. Thanks. So if you want to, like, you know, if you're those struggling sort of mothers who want to have better conversations with your teens, you know, I do a webinar which is 3 secrets of the brain to become self-reliant. And self-reliance can be in any platform of life, whether you're a mother, you're an entrepreneur, you're a corporate woman, you're a teacher, whatever it is. So what I do in my webinar, free webinar, is actually to talk about the 3 secrets about the brain to become self-reliant. So please click below to register for it and explore. Thank you so much for watching, and bye-bye, and all the best for all you moms to have those great conversations with your teenagers. Bye-bye. Take care.